Hey guys, welcome to episode number 302. Today is Monday, so it's Update Monday, and we have a fair number of updates to make today in the fish room. As you might recall, last week I had these tanks installed up on the top, and the last thing I had left to do was to hook them up. As you can see, we've got the overflows hooked up, we've got water in them, we've got the pre-filters installed, they're filled with water, we've even got some driftwood in there, and the return lines are in, and all of these are pumping water. See, we've got some water coming out. And yeah, so we just basically doubled the capacity of this rack, and now it's pretty much in a finished state. The two biggest things I have left to do are to get some more polycarbonate. I've been having a hard time getting my hands on it, and install more lids up top here. Right now they're open, and that's causing more humidity down here than is otherwise necessary. So the dehumidifier is running quite a bit, but I'll get those installed here within the next week or two. And then again, I've got to do the lights up top there, some more LED lights, and again, those will be installed within the next week or two. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think one of the first moves I'm going to make is to get some of these angelfish separated. They are adult size, and as soon as I see a couple of them exhibiting some pairing behavior, I will move those over into their own tank and see how they do. I don't know if I'm going to bother trying to breed them. A 40-gallon breeder tank isn't really the best environment for an angelfish. It just doesn't have enough height to the tank. I suppose I could divide one in half and keep two pairs in a 40-gallon breeder tank, but they wouldn't be super happy about it, so I might just pair them off and sell the pairs eventually. But I have had fun raising them, but we'll see. I might keep a few around. You never know what tanks I might set up in the future, but for right now they're hanging out there. I do have a group of corydora schwartzi in this tank as well. I picked those up at Uncle Ned's, a local fish store, last week or 2 weeks ago, and they've been having a fun time. I actually feed these angels fairly heavily, so the cories are nice to have in the bottom there to kind of clean up after the angelfish. So that's been working out good. I gave them the coconut hides that I made to make the cories feel a little bit more comfortable in that tank. And as you might notice, up here I have moved my shit show of a crayfish tank up here, and there are a number of marble crabs in this tank in all of the PVC tubes. I know it's kind of an eyesore, but I decided to throw everything up here and see if the algae will die off, because it's not really getting a whole lot of light, and the crayfish don't really like a whole lot of light anyways, so we'll see how that works out. But that's where they're living for the time being. I do have one crayfish in here, and that's basically the only thing that's in here, and that crayfish does have eggs. I don't know if I'll be able to find it or not. No, maybe not. I don't know where that one went, but trust me, there's a crayfish in there. It's got eggs. We'll see what happens. Maybe in a week or two the bottom will be full of baby crayfish. So that'll be exciting. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to put in this tank long term, but we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out as we go. So moving down here, we have actually a lot of our cherry shrimp have been added down here, and you do see we have some moss, and if you look close you do see some cherry shrimp in there. Of course, this was the tank that was devoted to the marble crab crayfish, and there's all kinds of algae in this tank. So I've actually decided to put some of my plecos in here as well. You see there's one baby albino there. See if they'll clean up the glass a little bit for me. But this is actually what I've started to do, is separate my my plecos out, so I've labeled this one albino, so all my albino babies are gonna go in this tank. And if we move over here and look up top, these ones are going to be, actually this is my marbled tank. Again, sorry there's no light up here, that'll be coming, but these guys are a little bit lighter of a color because they're kind of like, they look like a normal, they look like a brown, but they have the albino gene, so I guess they're heterozygous in a way, and they kind of express that a little bit by having a lighter pattern. It's not really like a true marbled, mottled color, but it is kind of noticeable. So I've separated those out for now. There's 3 or 4 of them in there somewhere, and we'll see how those grow out, what they look like, and what I might be able to pair them with eventually. And then up here we have our normals. There's 1 or 2 normal looking plecos. Here we go. There he goes. That one's just a normal brown. And there might be 1 or 2 of those in there as well. And then down here, of course, we've still got our Endlers. That hasn't changed. And more Endlers over here. That hasn't changed either. Except I'm trying to start to keep stock of what's in what tank. Specifically what plecos are in what tank. So in this tank we have a normal looking male, and you'll see out back we have an albino female, and those have been breeding successfully. There's 2 or 3 generations of pleco babies in this tank. You'll see the 2 in this shot. There's an albino up top and then a normal brown down below. So it's pretty clear that those are the 2 adults that are breeding in this tank. And I think moving forward what I'm going to do is have 1 male and 2 females in each of these tanks, and put 2 breeding caves like you see here in each tank, along with a piece of driftwood and some species of plant, probably more often than not a moss like this one, and take that as kind of the standard package here for all of these aquariums moving forward. I did buy 40 pieces of chala wood, so that's in the mail. That should arrive within the next few days. So I will be throwing a few pieces of that in each one of these tanks as well. And the hope is that I can start to breed some cherry shrimp along with the Endlers and or some other species of live bearer and the Ancestris in the same tank. So having 3 species breeding all in 1 tank. That's basically the plan there. And if we move over here, we have a normal and an albino male in this tank, and then we have a normal female in this tank in terms of plecos. All of them are actually doing a pretty good job of hiding today, so I don't know where they are, but yeah, that's not ideal. I would like to move one of those males out, and I will be putting that male in a different tank once I have some more pleco hides set up, but that's all kind of in progress. So that's a look at the rack right now. I know it's really difficult to look at these top tanks at the moment, just because of the amount of glare from the other lights and the fact that the tanks don't have lights themselves yet. So it's kind of a bummer to look at them on film at the moment, but rest assured they're being used, and I will use them more heavily as soon as I get those lights installed and I get those lids on top. So that's a look at the rack. I do have some extra pre-filters that I've constructed over here, and you know, I'm looking forward to finishing these off. Actually, you'll see some of these have tops to them, these strainer tops, and others don't. And I have a couple more of those strainer tops on order with Gemco as well, along with a few other parts. And basically the idea is I've got 8 tanks, and I'm going to have 8 extra pre-filters when all said and done, so that you know, every 2 or 3 weeks what I can do is just pull the pre-filters off of all of these tanks, or half of the tanks, and swap in new, freshly cleaned pre-filters, and then I won't have to wash or worry about those sponges immediately. Basically, it will give me 2 or 3 weeks to get around to cleaning them and getting them ready to go to swap back into rotation. So just having 2 full sets of pre-filters is really what I'm after there. And that's good because, after, I don't know, maybe about a month or so, what will happen is the water level will start to rise a little bit in these tanks as that pre-filter sponge gets completely clogged up. And the risk that I take isn't of an overflow because it's kind of hard to see. You see it better up here. This kind of lines up with the top of the tank, so if anything's going to spill over, it's going to be through this top screen. But if the water level ever gets up to this top screen, that's kind of the emergency overflow. I could lose some fry and especially some shrimplets down there, so I don't want that to happen. So every 2 or 3 weeks, I'll just be diligent about changing those pre-filters, and everything should be okay. I guess one last piece of news that I have to share is the American Libraries Association conference happened a few weeks back, and as you might recall, I did enter some fish, and I'm happy to say that my Endlers won at the ALA, so I'm pretty excited about that. I haven't picked up my certificates for that yet, but I will as soon as I can, and I will proudly display those in the fish room. I'm sure it's the first of many awards and such things to come, so it's exciting to see. And I guess the last bit of news, I know a lot of people have been asking if I'm shipping fish yet. It is warm enough to ship fish. What I would like to do is get rid of this, sell this off, and put some sort of little shipping table or desk down here so that I can more easily pack and ship boxes of fish moving into the summer months. So stay tuned for that. I will be building that after I completely finish off the lights and whatnot on this rack. So anyways, guys, that's kind of a look at where I'm at. Always constant progress. We've got bubblers going in the Daphnia buckets, and the green water is going strong. So those cultures are very much still alive. I will install a UV filter in this central sump system at some point. I just need to save a couple $100 in order to tackle that. And I've got a giant mess to clean up and pack away. So that's kind of what's going on in the fish room. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.